Well, hello, my unstoppable lionesses. How are you? I am prayerful that you had a phenomenal Christmas yesterday. Hopefully, it was filled with a lot of love and family and all the wonderful things that make the season special. I am really in a special mindset today because I have as our guest for the show today none other than the visionary, the founder, the CEO of the Woman Thrive Media platform, conglomeration, whatever you want to call it herself, Miss Raimonda Jan. Hey, lady, how are you?
Oh, I'm so good. I'm so excited to be here on your show back again. We've done our first
Yes,
episode together, and now just to close out the year.
yes,
And yeah, I'm just really excited. It's been an interesting year to say the least. So I
yes.
think today's show is going to recap on a bit of, the ups and downs and just things that have been happening this year.
Absolutely. I thought it just very appropriate since we enter into a new year next week. And
Yeah.
so the next segment will be like in 2026. Do you believe that? We're going into 2026. Man, it's amazing. But women thrive. I guess I am it's part of my heart, it's what brought us together, right? And I've just been able to watch how you've blossomed and bloomed, and the whole platform has expanded so beautifully, and your vision to give women a voice. I would love to discuss that a little bit before we kind of go into the year cap. Why is it so important to you that women have a voice in this season?
So interesting you say that because I think you've joined me just at that cusp of that beginning of that movement. It
Hmm.
was our second summit that you joined, and you got to really witness the birth of many of the initiatives and the programs that we birthed. This mission has been personal from the start, but I think it has grown. My conviction in it has grown, and my commitment to it has grown. Haven't seen the impact that we can make collectively. And when we show up, and I know this is something that you've been speaking about and into over the years, that when you step into your greatness, when you step
Yes.
into your purpose, you really make an impact. And that's what I've seen firsthand by doing just that, stepping into my purpose, my mission, advocating for something that I believe, something that I've experienced, which is, losing my voice and then finding my inner power to speak again and then empower others. In the moments of doubt, this has been reminded that I am making impact, that I've made a difference in somebody's lives.
Mm.
And because of that, my conviction has grown more. And yeah, just things that is happening in the world right now with still the continuation to silence women, to reduce us, to minimize us, to, however you want to call it, but take our voice away. I think
Mhm.
it's even more important today than it has ever been.
I agree. I agree. I I'm so intrigued in your passion, and I have been from day one, from the very first moment that I met you. But I think the thing that stands out to me the most out of everything that you do is how you pour into. You don't just give a platform for women to utilize their voice, you pour into them. I've never ever seen compilation books put together the way you do. I've never seen where you take your authors on a journey of discovery, even in discovering their story and how to present their story. It's just it's such a different and a refreshing take because most anthologies they bring you together, they tell you, pay me this, write your story, and then they're off to the
Yeah.
races, right? but you take the time to literally pour in. And I think that is so amazing. It is so amazing. So, how did you cultivate that vision to not just allow them expression, but to pour in while they were discovering?
Yeah. I had the opposite of that experience, the same what you just mentioning. I first time I published my story, which was very personal. It's the first time I was sharing it. I felt like I didn't have any guidance. I didn't have the support, and I didn't anticipate what it takes emotionally, um, and healing wise to actually write your story and share it with the world for the first time. So I
Mm,
really lacked the support. I lacked the community. I lacked knowing who else was in the book, the transparency, the involvement. I didn't feel like I was part of the process. So when the book came out, it was like, okay, 2 seconds, excitement.
mm,
And then there was no meaning behind it anymore.
right.
So when the opportunity presented itself, and one of our speakers, and I think it was also yourself, who came forward and said, you should turn our stories into a book. We want to do a book.
Mhm.
And it was our clients who said that. So I said, okay, let me try, let me see what we can do. And I started doing that whole research and kind of putting it all together. And for me, that was kind of not a question. I don't know how anybody else is doing it, but to me, was like, yeah, that has to be a process where you do have support because in the end of the day, I care about the end product, which is the final book that we're going to present it to the world. And I care that my clients have positive experience and what we write as a collective. I think for me, the most successful projects has always been community based.
Yes.
So naturally, because that is part of my values, I'm naturally bringing people together
Mhm.
and then cultivating this space for growth. And I think that's what has been different without me even knowing that that's what I'm doing, something different to what everybody else is doing in the industry. But it's been great to get that feedback from our clients to say they've never experienced what we offer anywhere else.
How did you evolve from being a sisterhood of businesses, business owners, to a multimedia platform? Like you've got the magazine, you've got the television broadcast we're on now, you've got the podcast, you've got the books, you've got all of these different things going on. And I remember when it was just a community of business women. How did you evolve to the media platform?
Yeah. I think first of all, again, we had that community aspect. So we were already cultivating the community. And I delivered a talk actually at a publishing show in London a while back when we were just starting out in the magazine industry. And that's what I was talking about, that you can be a publisher and be an outlet for news and information, but it doesn't mean you're cultivating a community. It has to be an intentional thing. So we started the other way around. We started with a community and then became a media company because
Mm,
I saw the opportunity and the need from our audience, from our clients to have a platform because there are not so many platforms for women who really celebrate and spotlight and create the space and community for women to have a voice, to
mhm,
be recognized, to be spotlighted. So when I was building my own business, I struggled to find media outlets who were for me, for women like me, entrepreneurial women who have big dreams, big vision, but anybody that actually cared about my voice. And because, again, that ties in so much into my story of struggling to be seen, be heard, struggling to have a voice. And so I knew what other women were struggling. It's hard enough to start a business.
mhm,
We overthink, we doubt ourselves. We need to find the courage, the confidence, the money to start something. And then there are so many people in our world that doubts our visions. And then the media kind of shuts the door and
mhm,
says, we're not interested in you. So
mhm.
I wanted to create something a little bit different. And therefore, kind of everything we started to do, it started to transition very, very organically because it was less about I want to learn how to do business, more about I want to share my message and I need a platform to do that.
Mm. That's good. I love the sisterhood aspect of Women Thrive, because literally we come together and we bond, and it's not just for the summit or, or just for the book. It's like an ongoing relationships that are forged and they keep going. It is just amazing how that works. This year. This year has definitely been something for the record books for Women Thrive. Seriously, I had the honor and the privilege to attend your retreat in Valencia, Spain, and oh my gosh, we are still talking about it. Yes, we are. Because it was just such an amazing experience. How do you like your reflection? I'm just curious as you look back over 2025, what are some of the highlights? What are some of the memorable moments that you have that you can just kind of share with us?
Oh my God. You're gonna make me really emotional.
Besides
Oh,
giving birth to your second child, okay? In
yeah,
the
well, I was
midst
gonna
of all
say
of this.
definitely, definitely, becoming a mom for the second time and just having a bundle of joy in that sense was just phenomenal. But sometimes year goes by so quickly, and I don't think I even had a moment to pause and think, oh, these are all the things that I've done this year. But when I think back on this year, we started the year with our trip to Miami, which was my
Mm.
first trip to US after quite a long time.
And I was
And
there.
yeah, exactly. And we got to meet each other for the first time. Quite I was so excited to come to the dinner. I knew you were going to be there, of
Oh my
course. You
gosh.
flew in for that event, and I was so excited. And I remember when we first met in person,
Mm.
I just went straight for you. We hugged, and I
For the
just kept
longest, it was
holding.
like we were just in this locked embrace. It was crazy.
I was like, I can't believe I'm actually hugging in real life. After so long, we've been collaborating and doing so many things. I was like,
Yeah.
you're my height. You're just as tall as me. There was
That was
so many,
wonderful.
like, I couldn't stop holding your hand in that moment. And yeah, it was
I know
just
it's
so
like it
neat.
brings tears. It's just like it was so special. It really, really was. It's amazing the bond that you make with people, and you don't realize and like until moments like that, how really, really, I mean, it's special. For me, it's
Yeah.
a kingdom connection, but it was like that moment. It was like that moment in time where time just stood still for a few moments. It was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like there was a table right next to us. It was just nothing existed around us. Like you're just like, oh my God. But
Oh,
that was
wow.
beautiful. And the whole event, it was so special to see everyone in person, people we worked with, on the other side of this pond in the States, people who came out to Miami to see us. We published our book, our fourth volume of the Women Thrive book, which, I can't even believe that. Then we published our Spanish edition of the volume three. We took a photo shoot for our special edition of the March issue of the magazine and just got to really hang out on that trip. It was really, really special trip. And, from there, and I announced I was pregnant. And for me personally, it was like just the beginning of, internal, how can I put it, growth in a way. And I remember you're like, I know your little secret.
Guys, we were going up the stairs and she was like, let me help you with your bag. And I looked at her, I said, no, ma'am, because I know your secret. Like, you are pregnant. No, you will not lift this bag.
Still on fire. It's like doing everything. But yeah, then we got to meet again for the second time in the same year, which she flew out to Valencia. And that trip, it was really a highlight for the year because again, we got to hang out in such an intimate space, time, to see the elevation, the relationships, the growth. Even after we left the retreat and I was driving back with Neil, I was kind of just reflecting to myself. I was like, I know I was the one hosting the retreat, but I feel like my vision has grown in this week, just hanging out with you ladies and, supporting your growth and your vision. That also elevated me and my own vision expanded. It's like we all elevated, a couple levels up and then you start to see different new clarity and opportunities and vision. Um, I think that gave me a lot more confidence to then just go after some more things that has been in the back of my mind. Yeah, it's been a great, just interesting year.
It is said that what you make happen for others, you make happen for yourself as well. And the majority of us came with the expectation of clarity. That
Yeah.
was like the thing. I know for me, there was so much transformation happening around me at that stage of my life. And I
Mm.
just needed, I remember talking to you before getting there, and you're like, what do you need? And I was just like to breathe. I just need to breathe. I just need to let me exhale and let me just absorb everything that has happened and is happening around me.
Yeah.
But it was such I'm gonna put it in kind of a spiritual vernacular. It was a kairos moment. It was a moment where literally heaven stepped in, and marked the time that we spent there. Seriously,
Mm.
none of us left the same.
Yeah.
We bonded in such ways that really it's hard to articulate. It really is because it was just everybody had their own situations going on in their lives, and we all came in with kind of a heaviness of what we had been walking through. Okay. And we left with such a freedom,
Mm.
and that was the atmosphere that you created. And so to hear that, it also helped to elevate you in your vision is really a blessing because that's what you did for us. Seriously,
Mm.
it is definitely what you did for us. And when like-minded women can get together and we start discussing,
Mm.
discussing things, discussing ideas, discussing who we are, you know, um, it changes the dynamic of things.
Mm.
It really, really does.
That retreat taught me something. I don't know
Mm,
whether it's the group or, when I asked each and every one of you, what did you want? Everybody had similar answer of we just want the space.
mm,
And when you, as a host, for me, it's like about what else can you add, making
mm,
sure that we um, kind of design the experience and the outcomes and the workshops to suit your needs. I ask everybody before they come on, what do you want to get out of it? And nobody gave me a clear answer what you wanted. Everybody was just like, just time to pause. And that's when I realized sometimes it's not really about, adding more to it.
mhm,
It's actually just cultivating the space,
mhm, mhm,
creating that space for growth. Whatever will happen, you don't have to necessarily create, pinpoint like the journey and this is what should happen and this is what you're going to learn. This is not a course. This is
mhm.
an experience. And in experience, you kind of have to take that adventure.
Yes.
And that's what it taught me, that transformation was internal. You just
Mm,
had to be there to experience it. And all I had to do is just cultivate a space for all of you to have what you needed to have out of it without necessarily me having to step in and teach you this or that. it was just creation of this space, which was really interesting. And the transformation was still huge. It was huge for everyone.
It was. Sometimes we curate too much busyness
Mm.
in what we're trying to do for events. I know I'm very cautious of that with my retreats. It's like I want you to get out of it what you signed up for,
Yeah.
from my perspective, to teach you different aspects of business and how to incorporate different technological tools into your business so that, you can grow stronger faster. But at the same time, there always needs to be room for peace.
Yeah.
And that's what you gave us. You gave us room for peace. The villa was magnificent. I tell everybody, one of my highlights was I went swimming in the Mediterranean Sea, y'all. That was just like so amazing to me. Like really, like I am in the Mediterranean Sea. But it was like when we did an episode of Unstoppable Lionesses during the retreat, and it was like that point of, did you ever envision that this is where you would be, at this point in time? And it's always good to be reflective at times, because most of us, we're leaders, and so we're always busy.
Mm. Yeah.
We're always busy. This is going on and that's going on. I remember I was at a conference in September, and it was like when my head went boom, where AI was concerned, because there was so much going on that I wasn't even aware of. But I remember going on a walk with the Lord one morning while I was in San Diego, and everybody tells you, just get your niche, just zero in on this one thing. But when you're in leadership, there's never just one thing because there's so many things that you've got going on. And so as I walked and I spoke with the Lord, and I was like, tell me what's my first thing. Help me prioritize, because it's not about just one thing. I've never been a single dimensional person in my
Mm.
life. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what you gave us was a moment to breathe, literally, and to put things in order. And that was what was needed. And I just would really like to just speak to the lionesses right now in these last few days of 2025. Take some
Mm.
time to breathe and put your things in order. Because as leaders,
Yeah.
there's a whole lot going on around you. There's a whole lot of responsibility that you have. I mean, that's what I'm saying about Ray. It's like you literally have a multimedia conglomerate. You really, really do. And that's a lot of weight. And being a mother of two little ones at the same time, like, and trying to shuffle, and you've got I think it's volume 6 of the book starting to roar around, and you've got the summit coming up in March, and you've got London in June, and you've got all of these other things that you're got your hands in. But if you don't have a moment to get some peace and some clarity on everything, then things that you get overwhelmed and
Yeah. Yeah.
overburdened.
You just have to organize yourself. You can't do everything. We all got 24 hours in our day. You just have to organize yourself. And I think being intentional, what really helped me when I got pregnant with Selena, my first daughter, I was really intentional about where I want to see my business and how much capacity that will take away from me. I won't be able to work 24/7. I won't be able to. So I had to organize my business in such a way to allow me to step back, to allow me to let others take on the role, put in the processes, the systems, the people, trust the people in my team and the leadership positions that I've created within my business. And this year we celebrated two of my team members joining last year. And when they joined, they looked at each other and they asked me, why are you hiring both of us? We have pretty much similar role and we have similar skill set. Why do you need us both? I said, don't worry about it. I have a vision of what roles you're going to play and what strengths you both have, which is, it sounds like you're going to be kind of competing for work, but the truth is, if I can create team environment for you to collaborate and work together, because there's a lot of work to do in the company. And we were reflecting at the last call of our organization this year, our team call, and they said, Ray, now it transpired why you made that decision when you did to hire us both. Because when you went away and we had to pick up all the pieces, we needed to work together.
Mm,
We needed each other. And there was enough work and there was enough capacity between the two of us to carry it through.
mhm,
So maybe the first few months it don't make sense why I'm making this crazy decision to hire two similar people at the same time for similar roles, but I already knew the capacity that I needed. And when I will need it, they will be trained and fully aligned and
mm,
organized in order to pick up the parts that I wasn't able to step in.
mm.
So it was an interesting reflection at the end of this year that like the decision I made last year really worked out.
So you had to build the foundation for them to run with,
Yeah.
which is very, very wise. It I have a question for you because I know that was one thing that I have struggled with over the years. I'm getting better because I've had to. But the delegation of duties, was that difficult for you? Because for me, I was so used to doing everything myself, and not because I thought I was superwoman. Most of the time I had to.
Mm,
Um, but also because for me, I was just like, okay, by the time I explain to you what I want you to do, I could already have done it.
yeah.
And to get to a place of, okay, I don't have time, I don't have the bandwidth to do this anymore. I need help. To actually be like, I need help. And to bring somebody on and put them
Mm.
in a position to help. Was that a difficult transition for you, or did you just kind of ease into it?
I've always known that I can't build an empire of my own. So I've trained myself to hire people really, really early. And that was the best decision I've made. I've always hired quite a few people
Mm.
in their area of expertise. Now,
Mm.
letting go was obviously a different matter
That is
because
a difference.
you try to keep hold of certain tasks. And, like you said, it takes longer to explain something than just get it done yourself.
Mhm.
But over the years, my capacity kept reducing. And my
Mm.
team kept saying, can I pick this up from you? Can I take on this? And can I take and run with it? And then what I realized that if you train someone to do the job really well, that will be completely off your plate. Like a lot of things I used to do, I used to build sales pages and do my CRM and send emails um, and do my social media, like everything. Be the accountant, be the chaser, be the salesperson. And then I started to train people in different areas. I used to edit video. Like I used to do every single thing. When I look at my team now, I've
Mm.
done all of these jobs that my team are doing. So I know exactly what it takes.
Right.
But it was such a relief to then train them and let go of it and let them take that and be proud of that particular thing that
Mhm.
they do and allow them to grow, allow them to make mistakes,
Mhm.
but then own it as well. And now I fully expect that you own the role. And
Mhm.
sometimes, yes, we do have to have hard conversations, like if things are not getting done properly, because I have a certain level of standard. If my clients expect certain level of standard, I have to keep up a certain level of standard throughout organization and what we deliver. So sometimes I have to remind my team, look, this is what we're working towards, and that's the vision, and we have to meet that standard. So there's, always growing pains, but it's been very, very freeing when I literally do not have any capacity to step in and do anything,
Mhm.
knowing I can just tell my team, hey, this is what we need to do, and just let them do it. And it's just been amazing because to watch them step into their ownership of that role, it's
Mhm.
been really, really good. So it takes time, but it's really, really rewarding as a business owner. Do it, honestly. 100% recommend it.
I think this is a very important topic for our Lionesses because as we are transitioning into the new year, I'm prayerful that we're all looking at expansion in the new
Mm,
year and to understand that, like you said, you can't build an empire by yourself. You know,
mm,
it takes the collective effort of everybody working in conjunction with one
mm,
another to watch it grow. I'm so grateful. I finally, I think it was this summer, around July or whatever, hired a VA. And I'm so grateful that I did because he's been phenomenal. And I wouldn't be where I am today and be able to do what I'm doing if I didn't have him. And I know in 2026 the team will grow because we will grow, you know. And I just think that we have to get that limiting mindset out of ourselves that nobody can do it but you. Okay.
no, and you can't do
That's not true.
everything. No, you cannot do everything.
We
And
can't.
when I look at it, I just had my accounts submitted for my business, and it is a business expense. If you're making profit, if you're making too much profit, you got to pay tax on it. So let me tell you, it is very good to have a team and have that expense because if you're making money, you also need to be spending that money. You need to be investing that money. And what I do with that money that we receive, I pay the team to
Mhm,
allow us to continue to expand and
mhm,
grow and create bigger offering and create better service. And that's rewarding for me in that we're expanding our reach, we're expanding our client base, right? But
mhm.
it also means I am saving money by not having to pay tax on it. So it's kind of double win.
It is definitely a win. I definitely prefer putting money in building somebody else up than giving it to the government, especially with the government I live in. But anyway, um,
Let me share something. At the end of this year, again, we had a team call. And last year, I asked my team of what are your goals? What do you want to achieve? Let me be part of that vision. I want to support that vision. And hopefully by the end of the year, you will achieve it. And
mm,
I've asked some people, well, how did you get on with your goals? And, one or two team members, because they're a couple, they married last year and
mm,
they wanted a car. And they said, we bought a car this year, and next year our goal is to have a baby. And, that's what we're working
mm,
towards. And his wife, she said, I'm so grateful to you, Ray, because I don't have to go and commute to work. I can plan a baby and still do my
mm.
job and have a job.
Wow. Wow.
And I support people in countries, in so many countries. We have a team in India, in Kenya, in Nigeria, in
Mm,
Philippines, in United States, United Kingdom, New Zealand.
mm,
So my team is international. When I asked everyone, just what they've been able to achieve, it's so heartwarming to know that
mm,
I've been part of their transformation, their growth. I
mm.
invested in them. They've
Wow.
been able to rely on me and my business to support them and their families.
Mhm.
I mean, apart from the transformation we've been able to create for our clients, that's my second biggest win for the business to know that I've truly supported my team and I helped them achieve their goals and their visions and been that steady paycheck every single month. So
Wow.
that's really rewarding.
That is very rewarding. Just to know that you're making a difference. You're making a difference. I remember our first conversation, and that was my thought about you, is that, you're making a difference, and the half had not been told. I felt it, I could see it, and just your passion about what you were doing. Um, what we got going on for 2026, ma'am? Like,
Oh,
where
well,
are we
hopefully
going?
see you again.
Oh, yeah, yes, yes, definitely. I've made my plans. My bag is packed.
Oh my goodness. There was a funny message that came in last week at the same time. So now you connected on one of our retreats in Miami with
Wow.
Neo,
I
and
did,
then again in Valencia.
right?
And one evening, my daughters, and the message comes in from Neo say, "Hey, I seen what you're planning for London. Count me in." 30 seconds later, I get same message from Colette. "Hey, I see what you're planning for London. You gotta count me in." I was
I'm
like,
there.
and then I tried to call either of you, none of you picking up. I was like, why are they not answering their phones? They just sent me a message. And then Neo texts me said, "We're on the
We're
phone right
talking to each
now."
other. Oh
So
my
that was
gosh.
funny.
It is, but it is amazing because when Neil and I met in Miami, we didn't know each other, we didn't know anything about each other, but there was something that sparked. And we knew we would work together. We didn't know how, we didn't know what, but it was just something that, yeah, we need to get together. We need to get some stuff going on. And then we didn't talk anymore. It was like, okay, well, we met. Okay, yeah, hi, exchanged, and okay. And then came Spain.
Yeah,
And it was just on a whole nother level. I mean, even I had never met Mandy before, and now we're besties. It's just like, it's amazing how you can connect with people on just different levels, that you wouldn't even expect just because of somebody's yes. So because of your yes, to do what you have been called to do, to step and to walk in your purpose, you've caused the yes factor to happen in our lives as well. And so it's an amazing thing. I am so grateful to be a part of the things that you're creating. It just, it's amazing and exhilarating all at the same time. I'm like, Unstoppable Lionesses, are on the Women Thrive network. And it's just like, okay, I was in the very first volume 1 Woman Thrive book. I've spoken to summits. I've just, it's just like to be connected. This was really that kingdom connection. And it's an amazing thing. You just never know how you have empowered women to empower the world,
yeah,
just
yeah.
because of what you've agreed to do. So I applaud you, number one. I definitely applaud you. I am so grateful for the sisterhood.
Yeah,
It's not just a friendship, it's a sisterhood.
yeah,
And there's a difference. There's a difference. And
yeah,
the people that we've come together because of you. And we're just the tip of the iceberg. Like Neil and I have some things going on in Costa Rica coming up this next year that another Woman
yeah.
Thrive person help connect
Right.
the dots, right? It's just like, this is what I'm saying. It's like when you say yes to your purpose, there are so
Mm.
many different entities that are connected to you, and you never understand that. You think of like you wanted to help others gain their voice because you lost yours. All
Yeah,
right. But because of your passion to set that up, so many women have been blessed and have gained the confidence that they need to be unapologetic about who they are. Now, I can't let this go by without even bringing it up, but the power in you shaving your head last year was so liberating and so amazing. And I just was like enthralled in the comments that the women had because of your courage to see you. That was the whole thing. You wanted to
mm,
see you. Okay. And because of your courage to see you, it freed other women to see themselves,
yeah.
to see themselves. Kind of talk about that transition a little.
It's been a whole year.
It
It's been a whole
has.
year. And it's
It
been a
has.
journey with it. It's been a journey. I just had enough. I just had enough of the hair. And I mean, I love my hair. I had a deep attachment to my hair. It first started one side shave. I loved it. And it just reached a point where I was just like, you know what? I just had enough. And that's not gonna define me. I just had too much struggles with it, too
Mm,
many bad hair dresses and all kinds of things. And I was like, this needs to go.
mm,
And I didn't know what's going to be on the other side, but I was like, whatever it is, I'm just going to own it. I'm just going to own it. And I
yeah.
took a shaver and I did it myself in the bathroom in front of a camera. I said,
Yes.
this is gotta go.
It was amazing. It was amazing. But I think because it liberated so many
Yeah.
through your courageous act, it's like we all have something that we think defines us, you know? And when you come down to it, it's you that defines
Mm.
you. It's
Yeah.
not your hair, it's not your makeup, it's not your size, it's not your weight, it's not your clothes. It's you. It's who is
Mhm.
this in here?
I had to learn so much through this experience. At first, it was the first look that you have in a mirror and you actually see yourself. I was like, wow, so this is what you look like without the curtains, right? Without the trying. This is just you. And it was really interesting experience. It was really empowering,
Mm,
emotional for me because there's a time in my life where I couldn't actually see myself.
mm,
I couldn't see who that woman was. It was just a shell.
mm,
And that moment really reaffirmed how far I have come in my self-identity and my confidence, and my voice, which was obviously
mm,
deeply attached to it. And then the year kind of evolved and I had to transform my clothing and I was pregnant. So there was another layer to add to it. And, some days you don't feel beautiful
mm,
and you start to kind of question it. Do I, still carry that femininity because I don't have a hair? Do I still look beautiful to myself?
mm,
And I had to go through layers of self acceptance, self love, self compassion, the learning to see myself from a different perspective, to let go of the person that I knew who I identified with, woman with a long hair, blonde hair, I had to go through a whole transformation and accept what other people also saw in me, right? What they saw, what I didn't see at
mm,
times. So it's been an interesting year, and I've come around to really love myself and love
mm,
who I am with, without hair, with makeup, without, and just
mm.
accept her because there's so much more to it. There's so many more layers than what you see at the forefront.
We are definitely multidimensional people, and we were created to be that way.
Mm,
We are unique, each and every one of us, in who we are. And so it's so important that we stop trying to fit in this cookie cutter mode, that we need to look this way, we need to be this way, we need to dress this way, and just to be who we are. Yesterday, I was driving in my car and I was just kind of reflecting. I was by myself. And I thought about, as children, we're somebody's daughter, then we become somebody's wife, and then we become somebody's mother, and then we're somebody on the job, and we're all of these different entities.
yeah,
But those are positions and titles and responsibilities that we carry. But who are we? The person. And we sometimes get so caught up in all the different layers of responsibility and the different titles that we wear that we forget, who is this?
yeah,
Really, really, who is this? I know when my husband transitioned this year, I've been his wife for a very long time, but I'm a very blessed woman in the fact that my husband never tried to change me to be his vision of who I was supposed to be. So I was really blessed in that. And I know a lot of women don't have that same testimony. A lot of women have digressed. And I remember my first love, and I became his woman. I became what his vision was of who I was supposed to be. And I swore that would never happen again. Um, but at the same time, there was still this transition of caring for my husband because he had had health challenges for quite a while, and different aspects of my life revolved around being his wife. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Being that one, being mindful, being intentional, about certain aspects of life and how I address things. And so when he transitioned, there was a transition that I had to go through. It's almost like parents go through that empty nest syndrome. It's like, especially for mothers, it's like, okay, the children are grown, the children are gone, now what? Okay.
yeah.
And it was like, okay, so who am I now? You know, who am I now? I'm not the caregiver. I'm not the wife. You know what I'm saying? I'm staying busy and okay, so that I don't lose it. Okay, but really, really, who am I now? And I
Mm,
think that so often we don't take the time to do that deep dive. You don't have to wait till somebody dies or transitions or leaves your life for whatever reason to do that internal search of
yeah.
am I? And I think that's vital. I
We're
think
so
that.
busy in this world and
Mm,
everyday lives that we don't ask ourselves, like, who really am I? What am I here to do?
mhm,
Just, oh, and I get caught up in the day to day quite a lot most
mhm,
recently because of my role as a mom. But, that's why it's so important to step away, put ourselves in a different environment, like a retreat, like a mastermind. I've done that for myself as well twice last year. I had the opportunity to do that. And it was really transformational. Really, really allowed me the time and space to reflect, to work on myself, to be by myself,
mhm.
to create a vision for myself and my business. And when I was in doubt whether I should go, my team was like, you need to go. Don't ask yourself if you should go. You
Right,
need to go.
right.
It's an essential part of your journey, your growth, and your leadership that
Mhm,
you allow yourself the time and space to reflect, to build, to envision, to hang out with like minded people, to
mhm,
surround yourself with fresh ideas. Um, and yeah, it's just so important that we take that time and we also invest in ourselves to do that,
mm,
to not be defined by your role, by, everything that you know so far, because you may never know your depth. You may never know what you have been given or assigned to if you don't open your eyes, if you
right.
don't listen. I think I heard a saying recently that at first there is a knock, then a brick, and then a whole bus comes at you. So if you don't listen to that call, there's going to be a brick that's coming at you and saying, hey, pay attention. And if
Absolutely.
you don't listen, the whole train is going to come for you.
Man, I can so relate. Oh my God, this has been amazing, Ray. I've so enjoyed talking with you. We're down to the end. We are down to the end. When is Women Thrive Summit in March of 2026?
16th to the 20th is our
Okay.
sixth one.
Mhm.
Koila, you will be one of our hosts, hopefully, on this event. Really excited to bring you back as a host. I feel
Thank
like you
you.
have been kind of the nurture and I don't know, the stereo of our
I'm the den mother, no.
purpose. Yeah, I mean, you're the godmother of Women Try, really, and definitely a wisdom keeper of our community. You've been through different experiences of what we do and the wisdom that you've got to share. So for you to play that role of a host, I think for me, it's really, really meaningful. And it's like coming a full circle of from that inception of Women Thrive, what it was, and you seeing for what it was before maybe I did,
Mm,
and now coming back as a host of some of the sessions, it's going to be really special. I think this year is going to be really, really special, and I'm seeing the signs of everything I have worked for, everything that I've seeded for, like you grow, you plant those seeds, you start those conversations, you have those intentions. And I think this year I'm really seeing those seeds starting to sprout and really grow into something quite meaningful.
mm,
So I'm excited about the summit this year. And then in June, our community will get together for what I call like a homecoming to London, because that's where our vision events began, the community began in person. And we've got a really historic venue hired for a 2-day conference for 250 people. It's going to be in Notting Hill, so a very historic area. And that's kind of our opportunity to bring our community together in one space for 2 days to really have that quality time together and build those relationships, continue to build on those relationships that maybe began online. And now
mm,
we get to do that in person.
mm. Are these events live yet where people can get tickets for it?
For Women Thrive Summit, yes, the registrations are open. It's free to attend, it's virtual, it's a 5-day event, and it's a whole beautiful experience. So you can certainly do that.
Mm,
For London, the tickets are coming soon. Actually, because we have such wait list of people who wanting to join, we're going to be releasing 50 tickets every month. Okay,
oh, okay.
so on 11th of every month, so 11th of January, we're releasing 50 tickets. In February, we're releasing another 50 tickets and 10 VIP tickets because, again, VIP tickets going to be quite limited. So instead of, I don't know, releasing it all and then selling out, we
Mhm.
just decided to release some tickets every single month
Okay.
and to make sure people have that opportunity. So we are going to be letting people know. So join our wait list on one of our websites and just be in the know.
And I just want to put it out here. I know that Ray mentioned that the summit, the general admission is free, but you want the VIP experience. I'm serious because you want, first of all, the VIP gifts. But secondly, it's a elevated experience. That the summit itself is always transformational, but I'm just putting it out there. You want the VIP experience because it takes it to a whole nother level. And as a woman, you need to be poured into and empowered by the women that Ray has assembled. She does her interviews of her speakers herself, which is wow, okay, and a very long process. But she makes sure, I'm saying this because so that you understand the caliber of women that she has assembled, she wants to make sure that they're real
Yeah,
and
I
what they
mean,
have to offer, okay, is valuable. So
Colette,
that's
this year it's been the craziest year. We had 1,500 speaker applications come through for the summit.
oh my goodness.
And when we closed the intake, people were still emailing us, and I still get emails. I'm trying to get an interview, and I'm like, why there are no dates? I'm like,
This
it's
is over.
closed. We have a cutoff time because we need to go into production mode. It's a big event. It's 50 speakers
Yeah.
event, and it's live. It's not
Mhm.
pre-recorded. It's not,
Mhm.
it's a lot of work. So we've been in an interview process for 6 months to find our 50 speakers. Which, yeah, it's been an interesting year. It's been a crazy year, and to go through 1,500 of applications and probably around 250 interviews to whittle down to 50 speakers, it's been a process.
Well, let me tell you something. One of the proudest moments, and I shared it with you because I was, in chat. ChatGPT, and was looking at different platforms that I wanted to apply to speak, and asking, give me the listing of the top opportunities that, I would be a fit for and that, I
Mm.
should look into. And Women Thrive Summit came up on the list. And I was like, oh my God,
I've
her,
been
she's
on
a
that
chat.
twice.
I was like, but it's just, even just to think about that, over 1,000 people
Mm.
understand and see the value in what it is that you're offering. I mean, that's monumental.
Yeah,
That's monumental. It tells you the depth of how important
yeah,
what you're doing is. That's
yeah.
that's amazing.
I
That's
feel
amazing.
so blessed, and that in its it's been years in the making. I say that you only get to be a speaker at Women Thrive Summit once, yourself multiple times.
How special, no?
But it's been curated and designed with so much intention from the moment you apply as a speaker to the moment you become a speaker to the moment you speak on that stage and
Mhm,
beyond. You will always forever be a speaker of our summit. You will forever
mhm.
have the spotlight and that badge
Right.
of honor almost. And the whole experience, the way we curated it, is so intentional. So even though we did have 1,500 applications, the process
Hmm.
in itself is almost an artwork in the way I've created and orchestrated the whole selection process and the whole experience for speakers. I
Hmm.
mean, in January, I'm doing a podcast just taking people behind the scenes
Wow.
of how I curate the summit and how it's so different and why there is so much demand for it,
Hmm.
because it's really different to what industry has to offer. And I always try to innovate, especially in the event space, because I've been in the event space since 2017. I'm always looking at how can I innovate? How can I do things differently?
Hmm.
If the industry is going that way, no, I'm looking at creating a completely different experience and I'm looking from a different lens.
Hmm. Amazing. All right, we're gonna have to get off of here because your team is gonna spank me for going over, but I'm gonna say,
No,
but it was Ray. It
you can tell that we're
was
okay.
Ray. Ray was my guest. It's
I'll
gonna be
pull some strings to add a few minutes extra.
okay. It'll be okay.
Be all right.
Thank you so much for taking the time to share this last broadcast of 2025 with me. I am so honored to have you as my guest and as my sister. I really, really am. It's been an amazing journey, and I just can't wait to see what 2026 has in store for us. Because we
Colette,
are unstoppable lionesses. Yes, we are.
that's right.
And Ray's a real lioness. She's that Leo girl, okay?
I'm a triple Leo. I don't know what that means, but for some of you in the
She's a
whole
real lioness. Okay.
Koila, I just want to say thank you. When your message came in, being a mom, it's hard to carve out time. It's 1 o'clock here in Spain right now, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Thank you so
We're doing
much.
this. I was like, I don't care what it takes. I'm going to be on it. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your vision, for your friendship, for your commitment, your steadiness, for knowing that, we have a friend in you and we have a godmother in the community who just such a strength that you bring. I've been truly, truly blessed to connect with you in person this year and continue our exciting adventure into the new year. And this has been absolute honor to be asked to be on your last show of the year. And I hope our audience have enjoyed this show today.
I'm sure they have. I'm sure they have. We'll see lots of comments. Lots of comments.
Yeah.
Well, ladies, that's it. We can put a pin in 2025 for Unstoppable Lionesses. It has been an amazing journey this year to speak to and host so many unbelievable guests and to cover so many different topics. And then this is the pièce de résistance, okay? To end the year with none other than Ms. Woman Thrive. media herself with the Women Thrive Network. This has been amazing. So thank you all for viewing. Thank you all for staying with us and following the show. We're honored to be able to come into your homes and your lives on a weekly basis. And I just want you to know that I am praying for each and every one of you that 2026 will be an absolutely amazing year for you, that you will encounter things that you never even dreamt possible. Okay, so that's my prayer. Thank you, Ray. That's it, ladies.
Thank
I
you.
will see you next year. Bye.